This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast, where we help women remove the overwhelm of living their most holistic life. This is the place to find evidence-based nutrition tactics, healthy lifestyle and wellness tips, abundance mindset, and easily implementable low-tox living strategies so you can rise up to your full potential and protect your family's health. I'm your host, Stacey Heine, certified holistic nutritionist and better living advocate. Now, let's get empowered with some simple swaps that make a big impact for optimal wellness. Welcome back to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. We have an incredibly special episode, and it is a collaboration, all right? So let me tell you what's happening right now. This is a limited time, very exciting event that we are going through, and it is called the Ultimate Vegan Health and Weight Loss Bundle. So if you have never heard about a bundle, basically it is when people that are super passionate or health professionals or people that are very good in their fields collaborate and put all of their materials and their expertise together into one very low price, amazing offering. And that is what's happening right now. Basically, at this moment, through February 12th, 2023, you have access to buy for only $49, might I say, over $6,000 worth of material that is going to help you create the best life ever. And really, it's mostly focused on eating a whole food, plant-based diet. But when we do that and when we nurture our body and we feed our microbiome with the right foods and we find mental clarity and better digestion through all of that because we're nourishing our body well, we're of course going to be able to rise up to our higher potential, right? That is what I teach here at the Urban Pharmacy, and we teach all about holistic living and wellness. And that is what all of these contributors do. That's what they teach for their living. And I am just so excited to highlight some of the contributors. There's over 100 contributions. I think we're up to over 112 actually contributions. There's probably more by now. But again, like I said, over $6,000 worth of content for $49 available through February 12th of 2023. And in today's lineup, we have Dr. Colin Zhu of the Chef Doc. We have Nate Marris of Raw Natty Nate. We have Dr. Stephanie Peacock. We have Tami Kramer of the Nutmeg Notebook. And then we have the two all-stars, the co-creators of this incredible bundle, Chef AJ and Lissa Marris of Raw Food Romance. So what I do is I sit down with each of these contributors of the bundle and talk through what their offerings are so that we can get a better grasp of some of the things that we're going to learn and have at our fingertips when we open up this bundle after we buy it for only $49. If you have been looking for a sign, this is it, okay? If you need a kickstart to your best healthy life, this is it. We have a large amount of doctors that have contributed to this bundle, so you're getting their expertise, plus a whole myriad of practitioners, including a yoga certification, okay? So learn how to detox your home, learn how to grow microgreens, learn about how to get the glow up from the inside out from my course, get workouts, fitness, and so much more. It's such an exciting time. Again, this bundle is only available until 11:59 p.m. PST on February 12th. So do not delay. Make sure that you click the link down in the show notes to buy the bundle, or simply buy from the person who invited you to listen to this podcast and support them, okay? Regardless, just get it into your hands so that you can start walking down a better way of living and really step into your best life yet. Hey, Colin Zhu, the chef doc, how are you?
I'm doing well, Stacy. I'm doing well.
Good, good. Yeah, so we're in the middle of this bundle and it's
Yes.
super exciting time because we are out there educating and inspiring people to live a healthy, holistic life and helping them take those steps to really elevate their existence. So I think we should talk about what our contributions are so that people can understand the value that they're going to get in this incredible offering.
Yes, definitely in the middle of this bundle week. You look like you're in the middle of a treadmill walk.
I am. I got to stay awake. I got to stay awake.
This is how you take in your caffeine, right? So
yes, this is my caffeine. This is my caffeine.
Yeah. Yes. So, for those of you who don't know me, thank you so much for having me on your platform, Stacy. And I'm Colin Zhu. I am also known as the Chef Doc on many various social media platforms. And what I do is help to coach people on how to thrive. And we do that by three manners: lifestyle medicine, culinary medicine, and thrive medicine. And, for this bundle week, hosted by Lissa and Chef AJ, which we're really, really grateful and humbled by in terms of participating. I am contributing two items. One is a Whole Food Plant-Based 101 audio course, and this is helping others who are curious about, what does it mean, to be vegetarian or vegan or whole food plant-based? What are these words? And how do I transition? What does that look like? And what does it mean? And so I go through a 1-hour audio course on, defining all that, what it entails, and what is in your kitchen, your pantry, your freezer. How do I set up my kitchen station? What are great appliances and utensils to use? And how to navigate a supermarket. And, I say all that into 1 hour. And my second contribution is my book, Thrive Medicine on audio. And I have a 21-day challenge that is a video companion to that audio book. So what that means is the book is a half memoir, half self-empowerment, practical step type of book. So if you are a person wanting, just really, okay, give it to me straight, doc, bam, 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 I have it for you with a lot of great personal and professional anecdotes. And I recorded 21 videos to kind of go a little bit more in depth, just to kind of give a little bit more background and context on why I created this challenge. And it's a pretty cool package. And that's my second contribution.
Gosh, this sounds amazing. Are you doing recipes? Yes. I mean,
I am not doing recipes for this contribution, but I do have recipes on my website for those
fabulous.
that are curious to want to learn more about what I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love this Thrive Medicine concept that you're talking about. I feel like you have a different way of teaching people, and it speaks to me for sure. Can you explain a little bit more about Thrive Medicine and what that means?
Yeah, for sure. We talk a lot about, food as medicine. We're all, I would like to think foodies at heart. You're either in two categories. I either live to eat or, I eat to live, right?
Yeah.
For those that, live to eat, there's a certain connection. Food is kind of like music and art. It's a certain universal language that we all share, and it means so much for all of us, right? But on top of that, I feel that, no matter what you're putting into your body, you can have the best quote unquote diets, right? You could, be in the best, physical, shape. But I feel like what is even more important than that is having a really solid and positive mindset. So it's kind of like a ship, right? The ship, very strong, right? You have a great, crew steering everything. But the captain, not having, the right, positive mindset could easily steer us off course. And so Thrive Medicine is really an accumulation of my own personal, professional, anecdotes bundled up. And, I've been really humbled to kind of travel around the world. And I've always had these light bulb conversations whenever I connect with people. And I just decided, you know what, let me capture this on paper. So it took me a year and a half, to do all that. First time writing a book, which happened by accident because I never really set out, to write a book because I went into medicine, right? I failed every English class, so, from that, I really enjoy just being very concise to the point, but having some context and having some relatedness, for people. And in the book, on paperback, it's really, outlined out. And it helps us and it helps me to implement certain action steps. And I also have journal pages on the paperback, to be able to write things out, because we learn by, visually or audibly or kinesthetically. So I gave, options for people. So in the actual 21-day challenge, you get to listen, and then there's a video companion. So you see and listen, and then also implement these steps. So yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's so good. I think that kind of goes with what I teach. And so I'm a lifestyle wellness mentor. I'm a holistic nutritionist as well. I'm a clean beauty advocate, kind of a serial entrepreneur. I just want to help people be healthy in one way or another. And it all kind of folds into this holistic way of living that I teach. And there's 5 pillars in that. And that includes body nourishment, belief system, honoring earth, success environment, and mind-body connection. And I feel like that Thrive Medicine kind of fits in with, the honoring earth aspect. Just, I don't know, it's just, kind of getting back to that connection of what you're doing, getting your hands on the food, like you said. Some people eat to live, some people live to eat. We have to kind of slow down, reconnect, because again, we could be eating the most healthful diet, but if we're not really making the human connection, and I think, to the earth, it's really important. So, that's what I teach. That is, I have a monthly membership for women that are wanting to live a more holistic life. And within that is beauty, is reducing your toxins and doing that in a healthy way. So that is my bundle contribution, in addition to a detox that I will talk about in a minute. But I'm doing a very scrappy video course. I say scrappy because it's unedited, but it's just me. It's real. And it's my real life experience in terms of getting the glow from within, and also using, reduced toxin products on your skin if you are going to be using things on your largest organ. So it's kind of a step-by-step walking you through, lymphatic drainage, different foods that can help to brighten you from within, hydration, exercise, mind-body connection, how all of that is intertwined with getting the glow up. And that is what the book, or that's what the video course is called. It's called Get the Glow Up. And I also include 10 recipes in there. And they are everything from an herbal tea to a no-bake fudge brownie that's absolutely delicious, and chili. I mean, who would have known that beans are so good for your skin, right? So I teach you all about that. And then I also have a 10-day detox, and I call it a detox because most people that we are surrounded with in American society are eating processed foods. And what we need to do is really just get back to eating those whole natural foods that make us feel so much better, that improve our digestion, that give us mental clarity, that also improve our skin, and, help us prevent chronic illness. It's just so important. So I have 2 contributions just like you. So people can really just get their foot into the door and start to feel better, start to look better, feel more confident, and just get on their way to their best life.
For sure. And I resonate with all that. And I love that, your contribution is, because you are radiant and glowing right now. I mean, just look at her.
Oh,
Everything's just
thanks. Well, I did just put my vitamin C.
I need to get more light in here.
I put my vitamin C serum on. I swear it does a really good job. There's studies showing if you put vitamin C on your skin and in your body, you're gonna get the glow up.
Yeah. But I love what you said, because it's really about not just healing and the inward, the internal work, but it's also that connection. And a lot of us, I feel, we need to continuously practice that interconnectedness. And I love the fact that, you're able to, connect everything, in your own way, which is also beautiful as well. So I'm excited for your contribution.
Thank you so much. It's going to be such a transformational thing for people to be able to experience. And I think just you and my contribution put together is well worth the $50 that it is to get this amazing bundle. So thank you, Colin, for your time. I'm super excited to look through all of your stuff even deeper once this time is over and I get to actually enjoy the whole thing. So thank you again for being in my presence today. And to everybody listening to this, just make sure that you invest in your health. It is the best investment that you can make.
Thank you, Stacy. And thank you so much for having me on.
Be well. Raw Natty Nate, welcome to the Urban Pharmacy. I'm super stoked to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Stacy. This is awesome.
Okay, so we are in this episode. We're in the middle of the ultimate vegan health and weight loss bundle launch, and you have an amazing contribution. So you had to be one of the select few that were in this episode, because I honestly think that your contribution is so key for people to practice a pillar that I teach in holistic living, which is earth connection. Regardless if they can get their booty outside and touch the soil or earth with their bare feet, you have a solution to do this in even a small area. And that is through growing your own food, especially microgreens, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having me on, Stacy. This is awesome. I really love the work that you're doing and what you're putting out in the world and sharing. Everybody can add a little bit, right? Everybody can take a little bit of something from people like yourself that is putting out some good content. And get reconnected. I mean, that's one of the things. I feel like so many things we are disconnected with, and it's so important for us to reconnect. And yes, my contribution to the ultimate vegan health and weight loss bundle this year is my full video course called Sprouts, Krauts, and Microgreens. And so the concept of this is just to cultivate living foods within your kitchen or your home office. You don't need a lot of space to do these kinds of foods. And the power that is contained within these foods is unbelievable. So really, like, how it started was my wife Lissa and I, we kind of added up one year, like what we spent on sprouts at the store, as well as like fermented foods, sauerkraut and kimchi, maybe like fermented sea vegetables, and microgreens at our farmer's market. And it was over $2,000 one year. And, of course, not that big of a deal because we're helping these companies that we really believe in. But it was like, let's start growing some of these for ourselves. So we started to grow them like in little recycled containers on our windowsill. And we had like microgreens all over the place. And then it was like, man, we're not really able to get as many as we want out of these, because microgreens, of course, are really, really beautiful. You add just a little sprinkle of microgreens to any dish and it looks gourmet, right? So we're like, man, we need to grow more microgreens. So we really just kind of upped our game and built a little system, by basically researching online what other people are doing for vertical farming, because we live downtown Las Vegas in a high rise, 21 floors up. We have a balcony, but we don't have a garden. So we can't get our hands in the dirt. And I've always had a garden. So this is a way that I can garden kind of urban style within my home office. So that's really like how the course became a thing. And sprouts, of course, sprouts are really powerful. They're actually a little bit more nutritious than the microgreen. But the microgreen, the sprout, and then fermented foods, all of these are really good for us, good for our gut health, good for I mean, so many things. It's basically just, pure deliciousness with vitamins and minerals and, antioxidants and, all the good stuff, probiotics, right? So it's a fun thing. So yeah, that's what I'm contributing this year into the Ultimate Vegan Health and Weight Loss Bundle. So yeah, super excited to be a part of it, as well as with all the other contributors, and man, it's going to be a good one.
Well, see, the thing is, I teach, I have clients, I have a monthly membership, and I teach how to do microgreens. I teach how to do sauerkraut, but I know darn well that you take it to 10 levels up. You're taking it so methodically, step by step, with all of the little nitty gritty details, and even things that could go wrong, what to look for, the best growing medium, right? And where to get your seeds and all of that stuff, instead of just kind of throwing them out to the wolves, which for me, when I'm teaching just, a high level overview of something like this, it's easy to do. But if you want to get really good at growing your own food, whether it's in a jar on your countertop via sprouts, or whether you want to go and buy some grow lights and do the microgreen thing, because we know how beneficial, like you said, they are to our gut microbiome, to add diversity to our diet, to increase our micronutrient absorption, then we really need to be learning from you, because you're so good at it. And you've really mastered it, because you just spend so much time. It's you really are just, it's like a craft. And then speaking of the fermentation, you and Lissa both posting on social media with these beautiful colors, it just makes people realize that, food goes way beyond just macronutrients, which is what so many people are so focused on. But we need to really get back to this is our ancestral, this is how we used to, eat. I mean, this is a food preservation technique that honestly all of us should know. Fermentation, right? You do kimchi. What are some of the ferments that are in your course?
So some of the ferments that we do in the course are kimchi, which I want to do a new video on that, kind of revised. What's cool is when you get the course, anything that I add to it or anything that I update, you don't have to repurchase it. It'll automatically just update into the course. So I kind of want to do, I've really been messing around this winter with some different kimchi recipes, because I love kimchi. And of course, if we know anything about kimchi, kimchi traditionally has fish sauce in it. And, being vegan, I don't want to use any fish sauce. So it's how can we get the same kind of flavor and the same look and texture? So I've been working on some different recipes, but in the course, in the krauts section, sprouts, krauts, and microgreens, krauts is short for sauerkraut, just to kind of make it rhyme and sound fun. We do the sauerkraut. So that's just out of cabbage, some red sauerkraut, basically just using red cabbage, kimchi, fermented carrots, fermented pickles, fermented peppers, cauliflower, beets, basically showing you, just trying to, hopefully, my whole goal was after somebody follows it along, they will be not intimidated to just say there's something that's going south in the fridge, right? You're oh my gosh, what do we do with this? Ferment it right now, scrape off the funk, peel off the funky stuff if there is a little bit going, and then ferment it if you can't get to it in time. So that's what's really cool about fermenting foods. And yeah, that's the whole basis of that section in the course, is to take out the intimidation factor, because unless you grow up where people are fermenting foods in your household, then you come across it in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, it can be intimidating. You're ooh, this is kind of scary. What is this?
Yeah.
And once you actually start to kind of dig in and research a little bit about it, it's you really can't mess it up. You can't really mess it up. And these foods, by far, for someone who doesn't eat a high fiber diet, adding fermented foods into their diet is the best way to start to build that healthy gut flora, to be able to digest more fiber. It's good prebiotics, probiotics in there, right? So that's really the stuff that I put in there, is just showing you how to do vegetables as well as, the sauerkraut and kimchi.
Yeah. So just kind of nerding out really quick. Have you ever tried, because we know that, and here's the deal. I have been like SOS free, if you will, as much as possible over the last, like ever since COVID started, because I found myself just, even though I've been plant-based for over a decade, like I found myself still like craving and addicting these like tortilla chips. If I would go to Whole Foods and there was like a sample, I'd be like, I'm taking my chip, and I would like document it and kind of make fun of myself on Instagram stories. Like, I'm getting the chip. I knew like, that's just, like, that's just not good at all. And I wouldn't buy the chips and eat them anymore at my house, but I would still have them. And it just shows like that processed food addiction. And it's that salt, oil, sugar combination that really gets me, at least, that's what really triggers me. So kind of moved away from that over the last several years. And so I geeked out and I'm like, I'm going to figure out how to make sauerkraut without salt. Okay. And so I did it. And I mean, yes, it tastes much different and it takes a lot longer. But there are ways to do it. I actually, I use miso. That has salt in it. So that's not salt free, but I've used miso, which is kind of, I feel like almost like a little cheater way to do it, because miso is already fermented, but what is your favorite salt medium, without giving too many like, or salt source for your krauts, which we won't give any more details out, but what is your favorite salt source?
I mean, realistically, salt that is just natural, like sea salt, I think is probably the best. It's got the minerals in there. Mm-hmm. I have noticed that if I use pink Himalayan sea salt, it has a different flavor than if I use just regular sea salt. Okay. I like Celtic sea salt. Yeah. And I haven't actually I didn't put anything in the course showing the salt-free recipes. Mm-hmm. And, because just like anything, there's so much to learn about every little thing in life. Oh, yeah. And when you tap into the fermented world, right, it's like, I feel like I don't really know very much. And I mean, of course, I know more than say like 98 or 97% of the population. Yeah. But when it comes to fermenting, the safest way that I know of is adding that salt. Totally. And of course, I'm right with you. Both Lissa and I are SOS free. I've been raw for over, this month will be 6 years. Mm-hmm. So no salt, no oil, no sugar. And I feel you, like, you want to be able to kind of like tone down and keep those things out of your diet. And so some people they don't really want to have any salt. So that's something I'm kind of working on. I want to add into the course is a salt-free recipe or two, but I haven't really got those down yet. And I want to make sure that if I do put something like that in the course, that is going to be a tried and true method that is, not going to, cause any issues and make someone sick out there. Right. Totally. Because realistically adding the salt, that's how it starts to do its magic and create that lactobacillus. Yes. And, without salt, it's kind of tricky. I know that people have done it, and I've watched some videos, and I've got a couple books, and I've been kind of toying with some stuff. But like you said, it does take a little bit longer, and I'm still slightly apprehensive of doing any kind of salt-free recipes as of yet. But yeah, I think, a good salt is just a sea salt. The only thing is you just don't want to use iodized salt. That's from what I gather, that's the biggest thing, is just not using iodized salt. We want those minerals. We want that aspect in the ferment, in the culture, because these are live cultures, right? So, and I like how you're using the miso. It's already
just fermented. Like a cheater, and it's just, and it's still salt, which is fine. I mean, I don't want anybody to fear salt. Like I was just nerding out and trying to figure out if I can actually make it happen, and what I found was just adding a little bit, like, I mean, you might have to add a little like date, so there's the sugar, like that kind of starts that process. But anyways, we could talk about that on another day. We're still talking about like what you currently offer. And the beautiful thing about knowing how to make your own ferments, guys, is that most of the time, as we're talking about salt, and like, we do not have to be completely salt free. Like, we can be totally healthy, even if with salt in these ferments, like totally healthy. The fact of the matter is that the ones we're buying at the grocery store are so much higher in sodium than the ones that we make at home. So that's why it's so important to know how to make them yourself, so that you can kind of control that. So I love it. Absolutely. Okay, friend.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else you want to add? We're super stoked about this. It's going to be amazing.
I mean, the only thing that I would add is for anybody who is just maybe toying with the notion of getting this bundle, don't hesitate. Like, go look at what is involved. Like, see what you're going to get. I mean, my course alone is $100. $97 is what I've got it priced at. So you're getting my course in the bundle, and that right there is the bundle is only $50 or $49 or whatever, right? So it's just an amazing deal. So definitely check that out. I mean, gosh, if anybody was to tap into this bundle and just use like 2% of the products in there and actually follow through with implementing what they're learning within these, books or courses, I mean, it can definitely change the trajectory of your life. So it's a really fantastic thing to be involved in. And that's what I love, is just being a part of this shift, in the sense of helping people in some form or fashion be able to kind of upgrade what's going on in their world, right? Yeah. So I mean, I really, really know what else to add besides just like check it out, see what's in it. You cannot go wrong. These things are a treasure trove of information.
I love it. And just to close it out, you guys, again, with Nate's course, like, this is your opportunity to get reconnected to what humans actually were kind of created here to do, to grow our own food. And so much of us are so very disconnected from even where our food is coming from, that this can help you just actually slow down, shift into parasympathetic state, methodically and consciously do something that's going to help you nourish your body. And, you can get all the plant-based recipes that you want, but this course, I think, is something that you should be really focusing on when you get the bundle, so that you can just kind of unlock and empower yourself again to reconnect to your food, feed your friendly gut microbiome, increase your immune system, and just be healthy and happy. So, Nate, absolutely, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Stacy. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. And everybody go follow Raw Natty Nate. I'll put his link down in the show notes. All right, be well, friend. Hey, real quick, I have 2 invitations for you that are happening in the month of February. First off, you're invited to the Plant Revolution Live. This is my 1-hour masterclass to help you prevent disease and live well with plants. So join me February 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern for this free event. The Plant Revolution will help teach you about the biggest myths in plant nutrition, what our body needs, and how to get the best nutrition from whole plant foods, what eating plants does for us in terms of disease prevention, and how to actually implement a pattern of eating that incorporates more plant foods into your life. Make sure you click the link down in the show notes or visit theurbanpharmacy.com/2023 events to be sure that you are registered. Secondly, in February, beginning February 3rd, I'm going to be part of the 2nd annual Ultimate Vegan Health and Weight Loss Bundle. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I was part of this bundle last year. It was incredible, and it was so valuable for people that wanted to kickstart their health in a really affordable way. That's all the details that I can give you right now, but on next episode, you're going to be getting more details on it, and it's a very exciting time. So make sure that you're following me on social media platforms, and that you are subscribe to my newsletter list by going to my website, theurbanpharmacy.com, theurbanpharmacy.com. Wait for the pop-up and get my free recipe guide so that you get added into my newsletter list. You get all the details on deals and events, and of course, this amazing bundle. All right, talk to you soon. Hey, Steph, how's it going?
Hey, Stacy, good. How are you?
Doing so well. We have Dr. Stephanie Peacock back here on the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. And as you know, we're talking all things bundle in this episode. And we are going to hear about Steph's contribution today because it is amazing and much needed and not so focused on food. Am I right?
Yeah, not super focused on food, but food's of course always in the picture, but not focused directly on it.
Okay, so tell us about what is inside your offering.
Yeah, all right. So I was super excited to put this one together. I've always wanted to put something like this together. And so this bundle was like the perfect opportunity. So I put together something that's titled these environmental toxins that can make us gain weight. So it's pretty much just everyday chemicals that make us gain weight that you don't think about, that can be in the products that you're using, even like food packaging, the water you're drinking, all these different things. But basically, to just boil it down, it's just, I'm basically covering the 5 different known environmental toxins that are most widely studied in the literature that have been shown to affect our weight and our gut microbiome. So that's really what I'm covering. And I basically do a deep dive into the research, just kind of talking about like some snippets from different research articles, talking about how it actually does impact our ability to gain weight and hold on to weight, disrupt our gut microbiome, potentially causing leaky gut, causing irritable bowel disease, and then also breaking down the 5 different types of toxins and then how they actually, like where you find them and how you can avoid them. And then I give some little recipes at the end just to kind of support your gut and support your liver and detoxing.
Wow. Oh my God. And you, Steph, have been a guest in my monthly membership. And you talked all about detoxing and liver support. Are we going to be able to learn a little bit more about that in this book?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel it's so, I really am no master on this, which is why, of course, I had you as a guest. And like, I know a lot about where toxins can show up, but I don't really know what's happening once they get into our body. So I have a question. Are you talking about, I know you're talking, mostly about toxins that can help us, that can keep us from reaching our ideal body weight or increase our rate of gaining weight. Are these both obesogenic chemicals that you're talking about and endocrine disruptors? Like, I mean, they're kind of one and the same, but they're kind of different as well, from what I understand, right?
Yes, you're completely right. So not all endocrine disrupting chemicals are obesogenic.
Mm-hmm.
So, and vice versa. But these ones that I'm talking about actually are both. So they do disrupt our hormones. They disrupt our like delicate hormonal system. That doesn't take much to just like tip things over the edge, right? And so when these chemicals come into contact with our hormones and our hormone receptors and can increase or decrease different hormones, it doesn't take much for it to do so, which is when we see a lot of these different symptoms, like even like gut issues, brain fog, fatigue, right? Like just like all those different types of symptoms that seem like mystery symptoms that you're just like, I just don't feel well. What's going on? We've had all these tests, blood work looks great, all these things. Have you looked at what's in the environment? So going off of that, directly from the question that you asked, yeah, so these are obesogenic. So they affect our ability to exactly like get to the weight that you want to get to, because maybe there's something in your environment that is directly affecting that. And the way it does it is, so these different obesogenic chemicals, they do it through 3 different mechanisms. But one of the biggest ones is it activates something called PPAR gamma, which is something that is basically our primary fat. It's within our body, it's within all our bodies. Sorry, I can't talk right now. And it basically regulates how much fat we store. And so it can actually directly impact that, causing you to store more fat and store more weight without even if you're, doing all the right things, you're exercising, you're meditating, trying to get into that parasympathetic state, or you're eating really well, eating a whole food plant-based diet and all these different things. The toxins can be a huge part of that. And the thing with these toxins is that when you're consistently being exposed to them in the products that you're using or wherever this exposure is coming from, it's just slowly building up in your body and can exceed your body's ability to eliminate them via our 6 different detoxification pathways, which is what I know we talked about with you. But one of our biggest ones is our gut. And so that's why I wanted to, that's really like the biggest one besides our liver. So that's why I wanted this book to kind of cover, okay, how is it really affecting our gut? Like these obesogenic chemicals, they affect our gut microbiome, but they're also affecting our body's ability to hold on to weight. So they kind of go hand in hand, and they're also hormone disrupting too. So they're kind of hitting all 3. So interesting. I know.
That's just, it's really bad. Now I listeners to like not freak out, but to also really realize that even just, I mean, when I started learning more about environmental toxins, which was about like eight years ago, I kind of thought it was a little bit like woo woo. I thought it was just kind of like hyped up. But now, fast forward to now, it's just like it's a persistent and very real thing. And we're just learning so much more about this. So can you tell me really like what triggered you to be so interested in this?
Yeah, it was actually my own health journey that I dealt with. So I pretty much since the age of 15, I dealt with very severe like hormone imbalances and gut issues. And a lot of it was due to my lifestyle habits of processed foods and eating fast food. And I was I was a swimmer, so I was like under a lot of stress constantly with my body, just training 5 hours a day. Like I know there's it's never one thing that causes a health issue. Most of the time, it's usually a bunch of different contributing factors. But one of the biggest things that when I had discovered this like 5 or so years ago was, oh my gosh, a lot of the products that I'm using I think are contributing to the way I'm feeling and with my hormone imbalances. So I discovered that just even plastics like BPA and phthalates that are found within our plastics that I was using constantly. I was one of those single-use water bottle girls and just like storing food in plastic and doing all these things that were just leaching chemicals into my food that are known to disrupt our hormones. So that was kind of where I started. And it's low and slow. And like you said, I don't want this to be overwhelming to your listeners or to anyone who's going to be looking at this book within the bundle. And that's actually something that I dive into in the book. I'm saying, don't get overwhelmed. You actually have the power to reduce a lot of these things, and it's not expensive. There's things you can do just to like quick and easy swaps, or just completely avoid them altogether, and really, really easy, simple steps to incorporate that into your everyday life. And that's kind of something that I really like to make sure that I bring to the table, because when I first started on my journey and I'm hearing about all these different things, like 5 years ago, I was like overwhelmed and I was like, where do I even start? But the goal is to really start low and slow and think, okay, what is it I'm consistently exposing myself to? And I talk about bisphenol and phthalates are two of the known hormone disruptors, but also obesogenic chemicals. And they're mainly found like in plastics. And then phthalates are also found in like scented products. So like when you smell scents, fragrance, parfum, all those things, that's where they are too. So easy swaps, swap out the plastic, and then try not to use candles and fragranced items and check to make sure that they're tested and things like that. So
yeah, fragrance is like that umbrella term where 3,500 plus chemicals can hide. It's just like the
crazy.
Evil. It's evil.
I know, it's evil.
And
it's evil. Yeah.
And also BPA, like there's like BPS and BP like F. I don't know. Maybe there's BPG. I don't know. But like there's all these different things that they're like, well, we don't use BPA, but they could use BP something else in place of that, which is almost equally as toxic. I've just come to learn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's actually 30 to 40 different variants of bisphenol, which is crazy. I know. And yeah, the ones that are like now commonly in place of the BPA free ones, exactly like you said, they've been studied and have been shown to be just as harmful as BPA. So that's why I always say, even if it's BPA free, just don't even bother with it.
So we basically just need to all just kind of sell our living, and we just need to go to the woods, and we just need to live, like
complete avoidance,
off grid, completely wear wear organic linen clothes, just do all
exactly,
completely detached from modern civilization at this point. Okay, Steph, this is eye-opening, and I am thankful that you are doing this, because I think that this bundle is absolutely full of so many resources that are going to help people reduce their toxins from the food that they're eating, because they're going to be eating so much fiber. And we know that that's going to help pull out toxins from the body, right? Yep. But people need to know the fundamentals, and also why they might be having such a hard time losing weight, and that it could be as simple as reducing those environmental toxins, which I think is so powerful. And I'm so thankful. I cannot wait to really dive into this deeper when I have the time after this bundle is over. So
I know, right? Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm super excited. And again, yeah, it's just diving into some of the research, the different ones you can avoid, and then how to make the swaps. And then I have some really great recipes that just have different ingredients, all whole food, plant-based ingredients that have been shown in research to actually support our liver and our gut and our kidneys and detoxifying. So that's the beauty of the whole thing, is you can avoid certain things. And then what you can also do is by eating a whole food, like plant predominant diet, you can support your body in eliminating these toxins. So it really goes hand in hand. It's all empowering. So
so good. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and onward with the bundle.
I know, super excited about it.
See you later, friend.
Thank you. Bye.
Tami Kramer from the Nutmeg Notebook. Welcome to the Urban Pharmacy. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
All right. So we are in the middle of the ultimate vegan health and weight loss bundle, and you have an amazing contribution. I teach my clients how to batch cook, but Tami, you've got the ultimate method. And that's what your video course is about, right?
Yeah, so my husband Tom and I have been whole food plant-based for the past 10 years. And I just got tired of spending so much time in the kitchen when I first began a whole food plant-based lifestyle, because I was making everything from scratch and it was taking way too much time. So I knew I wanted to do this lifestyle, but I also knew that I had to figure out an easier way to make it sustainable for the long haul. And so I just started experimenting and discovered batch cooking and took off with it. So Chef AJ calls me the batch cooking queen. And so what I've done is I have figured out how I can make food ahead. Batch cooking is simply making more food than you can eat in one meal or for one day. Essentially, you're planning to have leftovers. Now, you can do that just for the week, or you can extend beyond that and utilize your freezer space and freeze some of that extra food so that you have things in the coming weeks as well. And I've also learned how to batch prep our salads. So we were following Dr. Furman when we first started our whole food plant-based lifestyle. It was his Eat to Live book was the first book that I read. And he suggests that you have one salad as a main meal once a day. And so my husband and I have been doing that for 10 years, but I got tired of pulling out all that salad stuff every day and making those salads. And so I learned through trial and error how to batch prep 14 salads for us in 30 minutes once a week. And that's a third of our meals for the week are all done in 30 minutes. And of course, we add a lot of wonderful different things to them to make them more satisfying and filling. But I also share that in my batch cooking course. So we have 32 instructional videos for everyone to watch. And then I've also created a beautiful e-recipe book that has over 50 recipes, 10 of them 10 to 12 are brand new that I've never shared before, just to help people get started. So we also go over how to organize your kitchen, how to organize your refrigerator, your pantry, your cupboards, just to make it more efficient. And we're sharing all of our tips and tricks and hints that have helped us. And I also take you through a batch cooking course one day with me, where from start to finish what I do. And at the end of that, then I also have a video where I show you how I take all the ingredients that I create and turn them into meals, satisfying, delicious, easy meals that can be heated up. You can be eating in 15 minutes. So the difference between batch cooking and meal prep is meal prep, you're essentially deciding what you're going to eat for the week and making those meals and putting them in containers and putting those in the refrigerator. And I don't do that. What I do is I make a lot of different healthy ingredients that can be combined in different ways so that I'm not eating the exact same dish every day for the the week. And so I show you that as well. And then I think I have about, I don't know, 30 or 40 different pictures of my meals that are also in the ebook. And then I tell you what the ingredients were that went into those. And they're actual pictures of, I made my meal, I took the picture, and then I'm sharing that with you. They're not just like beautiful pictures that were just created for Instagram. They're actually what I eat and how I eat. So I'm very excited to share. I think if I had had this information when I first started, it would have made a huge difference in my learning curve on how to eat whole food plant-based, because it doesn't have to be difficult. It can actually be simple and easy, but we eat like kings and queens. We love the food that we eat. And I always tell people who are first starting out, if you don't love the food, don't give up this lifestyle. Just change the way you're eating. Find a way to make it simple and easy, but delicious.
Oh, I love that. And we eat the same way, Tami. I will just batch cook like my starches. I'll throw the squashes, the winter squashes in the oven with sweet potatoes and potatoes. I'll cook my, some grains in the Instant Pot, put some beans on the oven. I'll get all the starches going, and then I'll, do the non-starchy stuff. And I keep trying to explain this to people, and I teach my clients this somewhat, but I feel like you have such a good system down that it makes it so easy for people. And I love the fact that you're doing this as well, just taking these healthy ingredients that are already prepped in the fridge, and you can make different meals instead of having to eat exactly like what you said. It's very different from meal prep. And honestly, Tami, I really feel like meal prep takes so much more time than batch cooking. Batch cooking might seem daunting for people at first, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to be a wizard in the kitchen, right? And I don't know what your method is, but like, as long as you have some good sauces prepped, and you can make endless different meals. And I'm so excited personally to get some, new recipes once I am able to actually dive into all of your offerings. And you guys have been doing this for a decade now, so you really do have a good method. And can you just tell us before we start to wrap up, like, what is your story and why do you live this way?
Yeah, so about 10 years ago, it was actually 2012. It was the year before I decided to go whole food plant-based. When I went in for my physical, my doctor said, well, your LDL cholesterol keeps going up. So if this trend continues next year, we're going to have to put you on a statin. And I said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. My parents are on statins and they complain about all of the side effects for that. There has to be something I can do. And he said, you're already doing so many things right, Tami. He said, it's just genetics. There isn't anything you can do about it. And that really made me mad. I didn't know anything about whole food plant-based, but I came home and I went to Dr. Google and started doing some research. And that's how I found Dr. Furman. And then I found different documentaries, Forks Over Knives, and started watching those. And I thought, okay, this is what I need to do. But our daughter, we were in the midst of planning her wedding. And I thought, this is a really bad time to do a complete overhaul on my lifestyle. And so I waited till after the wedding. And then I saw Dr. Furman on a PBS special. And I really loved everything that he was saying. And when I learned about the correlation between our lifestyle choices, especially our food choices, and chronic lifestyle diseases, then I knew for sure that this was the diet that I needed to do and that my husband needed to do, because my dad is an insulin dependent type 2 diabetic and he has Alzheimer's. And I thought, you know what? I don't want that to be my outcome. I don't want to go down that path. And if I choose this different lifestyle, I can avoid that, because I never want to end up being a burden on my husband or my children, because my parents are both in their 80s and my mom is a caregiver now for my dad. And, and she's like really healthy and very spry, and, she could be doing so much more right now. And I thought, it's a really selfish thing to know this and and not act on it, knowing that I could prevent that from happening. So that's my why that makes me cry. And now we have, 3 beautiful grandchildren under the age of 6, and we want to be here for them. We want to be around for the long haul, and we don't want to sit on the sidelines. We want to be out there playing with them, not watching them play. And so that keeps us motivated as well. Plus, you know what? We feel so much better. So my LDL cholesterol dropped down below 100. Mm-hmm. The osteoarthritis that I had in my knees went away. My yo-yo dieting, I had been a yo-yo dieter for like 40 years. I was great at losing weight, but I could just never keep it off because I was trying to eat everything in moderation, like I was told that I should be able to do. And I was truly trying to eat the wrong foods. And when I concentrate on eating whole foods for my diet, I don't have cravings. I don't have weight gain. I leave the meal feeling full and satisfied. And I love everything about eating this way. Plus, after we went whole food plant-based, because we did it for health reasons in the beginning, but then we learned about the impact on the environment. We learned about the animals and what was happening with the animals. And then we became much more compassionate. And so it's like, once you know all of these truths, there's no way that you can go back to eating the way that you used to eat, because this is better for the planet. It saves animals' lives, and it saves our lives as well.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is.
I'm just so thankful that I found this lifestyle too. And the awesome thing and the beautiful thing is that now you and I are connected, right? And like, you're such an inspiration, and I look up to you and I'm like, I just turned 38. I hope that I have your vitality and your passion to show up when I'm your age. Like, it's just so inspiring. And, hopefully my mom and dad will listen to this and get a little bit more on track too, so that they can be along for the ride for a long time, and you and your YouTube channel, everybody needs to go and follow you guys, you and Tom. You guys are living this lifestyle together, and you are just helping so many people, and it's just a true inspiration. And I'm so excited to be in this bundle again with you.
I'm excited about it too. My only regret, Stacy, is that I didn't find out about this when I was young like you. I really wished I had, and I wished that I would have had the opportunity to raise my children on a whole food plant-based diet. But we feel really fortunate that our adult children have also adopted this lifestyle, and our 3 grandkids, this is the only way they've ever eaten.
Yes.
And so, I'm just so proud of them for doing that as well. And not that we didn't force it on anybody. It's just, our kids were in college at the time when my husband and I transitioned to the plant-based lifestyle. And so they went on the internet to do research because they wanted to make sure mom and dad weren't doing something stupid. And, then when they learned about the health benefits of it and what it would do for the, how it improves the environment and saves the animals, then they were also on board with it. And so, I'm just really proud of them for following us with this as well, and that our grandkids are being raised this way.
What a blessing. Oh my gosh. Such power in plants, you guys. So if you haven't gotten the bundle yet, make sure that you shop the link to whoever invited you to listen to this podcast, and make sure that you get these tools into your hands so that you can change your life and hopefully so many others as well. So Tami, thank you so much again. And make sure, again, you guys, that you're following the Nutmeg Notebook on social media platforms and on YouTube. And we will see you soon, Tami. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. AJ, welcome back to the Urban Pharmacy. Super excited to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me back. You look amazing, by the way.
Oh, thanks. You do too. I love your scarf and your earrings. Beautiful.
And I love your hat. Let's just gush on each other the rest of the hour.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Well, we have a little collaborative podcast episode going on right now, and we're talking about the bundle, which we're doing right now, the ultimate vegan health and weight loss bundle, right? And
Absolutely.
we are just so excited. And I cannot believe your contribution. We're talking about vegetables. So can you tell, I mean, like truly, AJ, everybody needs to know how to eat vegetables. And you say you have 3 hours of content worth. Can you tell us about
it's
this?
about a 3 hour and 15 minutes course. So if people aren't familiar with my story, I've been vegan for over 45 years, but for the first 26 years of being vegan, I was a junk food vegan. And that's how come I weighed close to 200 pounds and had the beginning of colon cancer. And the biggest reason is I didn't eat any fiber. Where is fiber found? In plants. It's not found in Coke Slurpees and Dr. Pepper, which was like the majority of my calories. So I really didn't eat any vegetables until I was 43 years old, which was 20 years ago. My life was basically sugar, flour, just dessert pretty much. And I had wished there was a course like this when I was transitioning from a junk food vegan diet to a plant exclusive, whole food plant-based diet, if you will. And it didn't happen overnight. Like I didn't go from drinking Coke Slurpee to eating vegetables for breakfast. There was a transition. I went from Coke Slurpees to chocolate green smoothies to green smoothies to eating vegetables. And so what I did is I wanted people to just be able, if they wanted to get there more quickly, just create a course around non-starchy vegetables. It's really easy to get people to eat starchy vegetables. I mean, parsnips and potatoes and, squashes. Very easy to get people to eat starch. It's delicious. And I find it's very easy to get people to eat fruit, but it's really hard to get people to eat non-starchy vegetables. And there's reasons for that because they're so low in calorie density that you don't really get a lot of dopamine from them. And if you're using food to medicate, you're not going to go to steamed kale. So I tried to make them as delicious and easy as possible. So I believe there's 32 distinct video modules that take over about 3 hours to watch. And then I did an ebook based on those recipes. There were 32 recipes, I believe, but then I figured, let's give more than that. So I put 24 more recipes in. So the ebook is beautiful. Even if they just didn't even watch the videos and just did the recipes, they're really delicious recipes that will help them eat more non-starchy vegetables. And this is especially important for people that suffer from food addiction, that eat a lot of sugar, that are trying to lose weight. But even so, there are people that maybe don't need to lose weight, but they're just not eating enough vegetables. And I'll never forget when I interviewed Dr. Firma once, he said, if you don't like vegetables, you better live close to a hospital. It's really important to eat vegetables regardless of what else you're eating. And it's hard because they don't taste good to most people because they don't get that dopamine. So that's what I'm trying to do, is make them taste as delicious as possible. But people have to know that you have to be willing to try a new food several times, to like it. So like one of the recipes is for turnip fries. Turnips, well, actually turnips are really good if you've never had them, but if you just eat them boiled, you may not like them. But if you turn them into fries and dip them in some barbecue sauce, you just might. So that's my contribution.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. Can you tell me about thylakoids real quick? Because I've heard you say that. And for those that are listening that are very interested in weight loss, which so many people are, even though they won't admit it. And when I ask them, most people are. So what about thylakoids and how does that correspond to weight loss?
It's really funny. I had found out about this, I think it was about 5 years ago, right before I published my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. And then Dr. Greger actually wrote about these as well in his book, How Not to Diet. I found out about it from just another source, not even in the plant-based world. But apparently plants, at least the dark green leafy plants, the cruciferous vegetables, that have this compound called thylakoids. And why they are there has to do, I think the way it was explained to me is like animals can run away if somebody's trying to eat them, but plants can't. And so they created these bitter compounds so that certain animals wouldn't eat them. And that's why people don't like greens, like mustard greens and things, because of the bitterness. But these are the things that are actually going to help you so much. Other cultures that eat vegetables more than us, or that get them introduced in a younger age, actually like the bitter taste of vegetables. You can learn to like that. But apparently these thylakoids, and again, they'll probably one day start putting them in a pill so we don't have to eat vegetables. They have this ability to turn off your hunger switch, to block fat absorption, and to really fight cravings for sugar. And that's why people who never really immersed themselves in my teaching or read my book didn't understand why I was preaching vegetables for breakfast. And by the way, it was never just vegetables. It was vegetables followed almost immediately by starch. But for people that are food addicts and sugar addicts, you don't want to start your day with sweet, even sweet fruit, even oatmeal and fruit for a lot of people. Start your day in a savory way with these thylakoids, and they're magical. So thylakoids for the win.
Thylakoids for the win. And if somebody can make vegetables, especially non-starchy vegetables, taste good, it is you. I mean, you have been living this lifestyle and transformed. And how much weight have you lost and kept off?
Really, I mean, only like 50 pounds. I say only, that was like, I mean, it is a lot, but the thing is, the main thing that I want people to understand is it took me over 2 years to lose it. It took me 27 months, but I've kept it off now for 10 years. So you can do it right, or you can do it over, and it's slow weight loss for the win.
Yeah. And you teach people, to focus on starch and to really get in as many non-starchy vegetables as possible. And this, honestly, this has changed my family's lifestyle. I've told you guys, even when I was live on your show, that, I don't think I've been in the overweight category, but I have 100% been addicted to processed food most of my life, even up to just the last few years. I was talking with Nate Marris, interviewing him this morning for this podcast collaboration, and was just talking to him when I went to Whole Foods to, get groceries. I would go and I would wait like all week to get one tortilla chip in the sample section. And I would just die over it. And like, it's that oil, it's that salt, and it's just so addicting. So for people who are having food addiction problems, please make sure that you're following AJ. Please make sure that you get this bundle so that you can get all of these resources and break free from the pleasure trap. Get into Chef AJ's community and make sure that you go through the video course, and just start cooking all of these delicious recipes. So AJ, before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or messages that you want people to understand? Not just that this bundle is plant-based, but that this is potentially and can absolutely be life-changing information that they can, have right at their fingertips.
Yeah. And actually that'd make a great gift for people. Well, the thing is the bundle costs $49. My course costs $97. So if that was the only thing you did, it still would be worth it. But I mean, there's yoga teacher trainings. There's several plant-based medical doctors that have contributed courses. There's over 100 pieces of distinct content. You can probably take you a whole year to go through it, right? Yeah. So it's really very valuable. And I really encourage people to get that, especially for people that are struggling in any way or starting out. There's just so many recipes too, even if you're not struggling. I'm not saying don't get it if you're not struggling, but if you are, it's just a great resource. And I just, like I said, wish these were available 45 years ago when I became vegan, because there was nothing.
Yeah. And especially the healthy vegan, right? So this is what this whole bundle is about, you guys. It's not about the junk food, vegan food. It's not about the processed Beyond stuff, Beyond Burgers and all that stuff. Sorry to drop names, but this is about how to get healthy and how to avoid chronic illness. And again, if you're not following Chef AJ, you need to do that. Get into her community, follow her YouTube channel, watch her every single day at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and submerge yourself with all of these experts, and buy the bundle. You guys, it's going to be life-changing. So thanks, AJ, for your time. We appreciate you. And I can't wait to watch all 3 hours of the videos. I am so excited.
All right. Thanks, Stacey. Take care, everyone.
I'm over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of The Urban Pharmacy. For today's show notes, head on over to theurbanpharmacy.com and be sure to join us inside our private Facebook group called The Urban Pharmacy, where we share inspiration, live trainings, and holistic living tips to help you build community and the healthy lifestyle that you've always wanted. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Before we connect again on the next show, follow me on Instagram at The Urban Pharmacy. That's urban with an H and pharmacy with an F. And I can't wait to hear your wellness journey as we get to know each other better. There's truly no better time than now to level up your life. And I am so proud of you for showing up today. Until next time, be well, Health Crusader.